Today I'm going to be playing Space Empires 4X, the Alien Empire Solitaire scenario found in the core rulebook. I'm using my own custom build of the map and counters because I'm still waiting for my pre-order of the fourth printing of Space Empires 4X to ship. We're going to be playing in easy mode, so there's going to be two alien players. They're each going to get 5 CPs per econ roll each turn, which I'll explain. So with the two players set up on easy mode, we've got our red alien player and our yellow alien player, and they always start on these two ends. If we were playing one of the modes that required 3 alien players, then we would have a third starting there. So on our alien economic sheets, we'll be keeping track of the technological and CP progression on the red and the yellow aliens here. I've taken all of the rules from Alien Empire and sort of reorganized them into a cheat sheet, one single page, double-sided cheat sheet that sort of breaks down the basics of the alien AI. So we've got this is what you do for the alien player economic phase. This is what the alien player movement phase looks like. And this is what alien player combat looks like. So all of this information is available in the scenario rules, but for some reason I struggled a little bit. I had to read the Alien Empire scenario rules many times for it to really start to sink in and make sense to me. I covered movement, combat, and exploration quite a bit in my Doomsday Machine playthroughs, so I'm not going to go through every single movement and exploration phase of every single turn. I'm just going to give recaps on the stuff that I covered heavily in previous playthroughs. So we've reached the first economic phase and my scout ships went out. We discovered Andromeda system, the Prometheus system, and the Vulcan system. And my miner went out, grabbed some minerals, and brought them back to the homeworld. I think we're going to build colony ships because that's really what we need right now. So we can build 2 colony ships because they're 8 apiece. That's 16. I think we're gonna carry that over. Vulcan is going to be colonized, and Prometheus, and that's it for the first set of turns leading up to the first economic phase. And now we do econ rolls for both alien empires. So how that works is econ turn 1, we get 1 econ roll and we roll a 5. So then we go over here, our economy roll results. A 3 through 10 is tech, so we're going to be putting all of our econ CPs into tech. And since we're playing on easy mode, there's 5 CPs per econ roll. So what that means is we did 1 econ roll, the result was tech, so we add 5 CPs to tech. So now this alien empire has basically 5 CPs worth of tech in their bank. And then we do the same for the other alien empire. They rolled a 3, so first econ, we rolled a 3, so that's also tech. So we add 5 CPs to tech. The next thing we do is a fleet launch roll. Now, every turn, we're going to be rolling for fleet launch. On turn 1, we don't roll. So fleets are never launched on turn 1. And that's it. So we're done with this turn. And then we just go back up to the top, and it's the Terran player's turn again. We enter our second economic phase, and we've actually discovered several more habitable systems. We've returned some minerals and are collecting more. We count up our CPs. We've got 20, 21, 22 colony CPs. We collected 5 mineral CPs. 33, and we've got 3 maintenance because we've got 3 scouts. So we have 30 CPs to spend. Throw down 2 more colony ships, and then we move on to the alien econ rolls. So now we're on turn 2. Turn 2, we roll a 7, so that's tech. So we're going to add another 5 to tech. So now our tech is up to 10. And then same with the yellow aliens. We roll a 3. So here, on a 2 through 3, we're going to add the CP to fleet. So this alien empire is developing in a slightly different way. And then on the second turn, a launch is inevitable. You cannot launch a fleet unless you have 6 CPs in your fleet. Since the red aliens have 0 CPs in their fleet bank, they will not launch a fleet. And same here with the yellow aliens. Since they only have 5 in their fleet bank, they will not launch a fleet. All right, so third economic phase, we have reached Orion for colonization and Eden, and we've continued to explore with our scout ships, and we lost one of our scout ships to danger in deep space. So our colony CPs right now are going to be 20, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29. We delivered 5 CPs of minerals. We only have 2 maintenance now because we lost a scout ship. So we've got 36 CPs to spend on technology and ships. I can build 1.5 hull points per shipyard now instead of 1, and I can now build bigger and better ships than I used to be able to build. And then the final thing we want to do here is grow our colonies. Now here on turn 3, each alien is going to get 2 econ rolls. So now things are starting to ramp up a little bit. So the first alien gets a 4 and a 9. So then we go over here. 4 is going to be fleet and 9 is going to be defense. So we're going to add 5 CPs to fleet. Tech is still 10. And then defense, we're going to add 5 CPs to defense, but we double it because that's just a rule. You double everything that goes into defense. So that's 10 into defense. And then we do the same for yellow. So we have a 6 and a 10. So 6 is going to be tech and 10 is going to be defense. There's going to be an automatic fleet launch if there's at least 6 CP in the fleet bank. So here we still only have 5 CP in the fleet bank, so no fleet launch. And here we only have 5 CP in the fleet bank, so no fleet launch. And that's it. So then we just go back to the Terrans. So basically what's happening is the red and the yellow aliens are slowly building up their different types of points each turn. The fleet points will indicate how much the aliens have to spend on ships. The tech points will indicate how many CPs the aliens can invest in technology when their fleet launches. And defense points are only used when their homeworlds are attacked. All right, so for my 4th economic phase, I collected 41 CPs from my homeworld and colonies. I collected 10 CPs in minerals. I've got a maintenance of 2 right now. That leaves me 50, and I invested in terraforming technology, and I also invested in exploration technology, which will give my cruisers the ability to see what's out in deep space before they get themselves killed. And I bought 1 more miner because there are a lot of minerals here to be collected. And I also invested in Minesweeper technology. There's one thing I learned during my first playthrough of this game, which is these alien empires love mines, and there's a reasonable chance that when you reach the homeworld, there are going to be minefields to be dealt with. I actually lost a couple dreadnoughts learning that the hard way. And then we go to our alien econ rolls. So we're on econ phase 4. 2 econ rolls, a 1 and a 4. 1 is econ and 4 is fleet. So we're going to add 5 CPs to fleet. That brings fleet up to 10. Tech and defense stay the same. And we just got an econ roll here. And what this means is 3 turns from now, 1, 2, 3, we get one extra econ roll. It's a little weird how that works. Let's roll for other Alien Empire. We rolled a 1 and an 8. So here we also get an econ roll 3 turns from now. 1. So 1, 2, 3. 3 turns from now we're going to start getting one extra econ roll. And 8 is tech. So our tech goes from 10 to 15. We still have 10 defense and 5 fleet. Now we do our fleet roll, and now we have 10 fleet points. So a fleet will launch on a roll of 1 to 5. 2. So we are launching a fleet. We are go for launch. On a 1 through 5, now down here on a 1 through 5, we launch a fleet, but we only have 5 fleet points, so this fleet will not launch regardless. So this is our first alien fleet launch. It's going to be the red aliens. That's where this cheat sheet comes in handy. If the alien player, AP, has fighter tech and 25 CP in fleet column, this alien has neither, so we do not modify the die roll. If the alien has cloak and 12 CP in fleet, none of those apply. If the AP has cloak, tech, and 12 CP in fleet, it doesn't have either, so it's not going to be a raider fleet. We're going to be launching a regular fleet. So what we do is we place a fleet marker at the homeworld of the red aliens, and the units and tech will be purchased when the fleet first enters combat. So we're not going to purchase the actual tech and ships now. We're just placing a generic fleet marker, and I usually just use like an extra, like a mine counter. I just flip it over. And so now there's a fleet here ready to be deployed, and that fleet will actually be constructed once it reaches its target. So it's kind of like a built-in fog of war with the alien AI, which is pretty cool. Move all CP from the fleet column to the right side of the fleet ledger. So now we've got 10 CP in the fleet column. We're going to move all of that over here. And so when that fleet reaches its target, this is how many fleet points we can use to buy ships with. And then we have to eliminate all those fleet points. So the fleet points are back down to 0 in the bank here. On a result of 1 through 4, the alien player is going to buy the next movement tech, if possible. But we rolled a 5, so that's not going to happen. But let's say we had rolled a 4. The aliens don't have any movement tech right now, but so it would be a 2, it'd be 20 CPs. They didn't have enough, they only have 10 CPs, so they wouldn't have been able to upgrade their movement anyway. So that's pretty much it. On our next turn, we'll buy some more colony ships. We've got terraforming technology, so we could colonize Centauri, Ares, Polaris. So our scout ships continued to push outward. They found some more habitable systems. The miners delivered minerals to colonies. And as you can see, this red fleet is moving across deep space, heading toward the nearest colony. And we collected 10 CPs worth of minerals. And we only have 1 scout ship left. So with my 60 CPs, I bought 3 cruisers and 2 shipyards. So all of our colonies are up to 5 now, fully developed. We're on econ turn 5. The aliens get 2 econ rolls, so we get a 3 and a 4. So that's 10 CPs that go into fleet. And then this alien, 1 and a 9. So then we come down here, a 1 is econ and a 9 is tech. So the tech's going to go from 15 to 20. And then this econ is going to be another 3 turns from now. 1, 2, 3. I think that increases the econ roll from 1, the extra econ rolls from 1 to 2. At least that's the way I interpret the rules. Is like it's not just another 1, but it actually adds to the existing extra econ rolls. And then we do fleet launch roll. Looks like on a 1 through 3, a fleet will launch. We rolled an 8, so red is not launching a fleet. 1 through 3, a 7. Yellow is not launching a fleet. Now, on the one hand, it's good that fleets aren't launching, but on the other hand, it's actually just allowing them to build up more resources so that when a fleet does launch, it's bigger. So now we go to the top. We want to get our cruisers over to this hotspot immediately, so they're going to move out. This scout ship is out here just testing the absolute boundaries of deep space. He discovers some asteroids. And then this ship moves. Alien ships will avoid black holes, so it's going to go here, but they do not uncover deep space. The cruisers continue to push toward this colony. Scout ship continues to explore. Miner delivers minerals. And miner delivers minerals. Okay, so now this alien fleet has arrived at this colony and is going to engage in battle with this colony. So now we have to build our tech and our fleet. So then we go back over here to my cheat sheet. And the first thing we do is purchase tech. So if the AP has enemy fighters in combat and the AP lacks, no. If the AP has seen enemy mines, nope, I don't have any mines. If the AP has seen human raiders, nope, I don't have raiders. Roll the die for ship size tech. So current ship size is 1 and a roll of 5. So then we go over here, current ship size 1. On a 1 through 10, we are going to try to upgrade ship size tech. And then we come here, the next ship size tech is 10 CPs. That should be 10. Those did not get zeroed out. Those should have just been carried over from the previous round. So we have 10 tech CPs to spend. It has been determined that this alien fleet is going to upgrade their ship size tech. So here we write ship size 2. All red aliens are going to have ship size 2 available to them. All tech upgrades are available instantly to every alien, so it's pretty powerful. And then we can skip the rest of this because we don't have any tech points left to spend. If we had tech points left over, then we would see if the AP has fighter tech, and if the AP is a raider fleet, and then we would roll on tech purchase chart to spend all remaining CP on either attack, defense, tactics, cloak, scan, fighter, etc. But none of that applies because we're out of tech points to spend. And then the last thing we do is purchase ships. So it's not a raider fleet, so we don't buy raiders. If AP has fighter tech, which it doesn't, if 12 or more CP fleet is launched, so we only have a 10 CP fleet, so that's not going to apply. So the only thing left to do is build one flagship, build one of the largest ship size available with the current AP ship size tech. So we have ship size 2, and if we go here, ship size 2 allows us to build destroyers and bases. So if we look here, a destroyer costs 9, so we can afford one destroyer. That's going to spend 9 out of our 10 CPs. There's nothing we can do with the remaining CP, so we actually just carry that back over into fleet. So now on the next econ roll, the fleet is going to start with 1 CP. And this alien fleet is revealed as a destroyer. Now, this destroyer is going to get a free hit on the colony since there's no one there to defend it. It has an attack strength of 4, and we rolled a 7, so it misses. So unlike the Doomsday scenario, when an alien fleet reaches a colony, it's not the end of the world. It's going to take time for the alien fleet to whittle down that colony and destroy it. Whereas with the Doomsday Machine scenarios, the second the Doomsday Machine reaches a colony, it destroys the colony and the planet the colony's on. And so now we're going to have a battle between my 3 cruisers and the 1 alien destroyer, which I'm not too worried about. 3 cruisers should be able to handle 1 destroyer like no problem. We have initiative, and we have an attack of 4 minus a defense of 1, so 4 or less. We got 1 hit, but the destroyer only has 1 hull point, so we destroy the destroyer. 6th economic phase. We've got 55 colony points, 12 left over from the last round, 10 mineral CPs. Now, what we really need at this point is colony ships, because we have a lot of planets that we can be colonizing right now, a lot of systems that we can be colonizing. Actually, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least. Let's do 5 colony ships. And we still have 30 left over. So I'm actually going to upgrade my shipyard technology. So now my shipyard technology is up to 3. Instead of building 1 colony ship at each one of these shipyards out here, I can build 2 colony ships. And so now all these colony ships are much closer to the worlds that they want to colonize. And then my 5th remaining colony ship, I will just build here at the homeworld, and he'll just go after Polaris. I'm getting ready to deploy all these colony ships. We're going to have a population explosion here pretty soon. So we're on the 6th phase. So now each alien gets 3 econ rolls instead of 2. So we rolled a 1, a 4, and a 5. A 1 is econ. A 4 and a 5 are fleet. So we're going to add 10 to our fleet. And we already had 1. So now we're up to 11 in our fleet, 10 in tech, 10 in defense still. And then the econ roll, we got 1 econ. So 3 rolls from now, 1, 2, 3. The extra econ rolls are going to go from 1 up to 2. So these 2 alien empires are growing, but they're kind of growing in slightly different, divergent ways, which is all part of the AI. And then we're going to do a fleet launch roll. And on a 1 through 4, these aliens will launch a fleet. 6, no fleet launch for red. And on a 1 through 4, yellow will launch at the fleet. 7, no fleet launch for yellow. And that's it. We're back to the top. Now, obviously here during this turn, I'm just going to be doing a mad push for colonization. So these 2 colony ships are heading out. These 2 colony ships are heading out. This colony ship is heading out. Miner picks up minerals. Miner delivers minerals. Scout ship explores. Danger. This scout ship is destroyed. Now, these cruisers have exploration tech. I forgot that I bought that. So I think for that turn, they can actually peek at markers before moving or without moving. And so I'm just going to have them peek at these 2 markers for that last turn. That's a danger marker, so it gets removed. And they discovered a warp point, but they're going to hang tight at this colony. And I think I'm going to devote all my CPs this turn to tech development. So I'm going to upgrade ship size, upgrade attack, upgrade defense. That's 60. And that's it for me. And then the aliens. So here now with the red, we've got 3 econ rolls plus an extra. So now we're doing 4 econ rolls for the red. So this is where it starts ramping up. 3, 5, 7, 9. So 2 fleet is 10. So that's going to go up to 21. And 2 tech is going to be another 10 in tech. So that's going to go up to 20. And then here we've got the same situation. We've got 3 econ rolls plus 1 extra. So we have 4 econ rolls. So fleet's going to go up to 25. Tech's going to go up to 30. And we hold steady at 20 for defense. And then we do our fleet launch roll. On a 1 through 4, a fleet is launched. That's a 1, so we are launching a fleet. And then we'll roll for yellow. 5, so yellow is not launching a fleet. We rolled a 7. On a 1 through 4, we upgrade move tech, so we're not upgrading move tech. No fighter tech, no cloak tech. So basically we're launching a regular fleet again. and there's 21 fleet points. So we're gonna put 21 CP of fleet points over here, and we remove it from there. We add a fleet counter here, and so when this fleet reaches a target, it's going to be able to spend 21 fleet points along with however much tech is in the bank at the time to build a fleet. All right, so now we're back up to the top. I think since the aliens haven't really been launching fleets, I don't really need fleets yet. I'm going to continue to pour money into upgrades. So I'm going to upgrade attack and defense. That's 30 each. So that's 60, and then we only have 7 left over, and I'll carry it. So red is going to launch another fleet. And then on a 1 through 4, we launch a fleet. 5. Yellow does not launch a fleet. So now we have 2 fleets, one with 21 CPs and one with 15 CPs. And then we roll for move tech. We rolled a 3. So if we can afford to upgrade move tech, we will now. The next move would cost 20 to upgrade, and we do have 25. So we're gonna upgrade tech to move 2, and that's 20. So there's 5, basically 5 left over. And then we have this second fleet. So we just have to remember that this first fleet, we'll put a 1 under it just to designate the fleet ID, and we'll put a 2 under this fleet to designate its unique ID. So this is going to be like fleet 1, and this is going to be fleet 2. Now these cruisers can attack the alien fleet on their way in, or they can wait and let the alien fleet attack them. Now the alien fleet will avoid non-single ships if it doesn't slow down their approach to the next colony. But here they won't go into black holes, and they have to get through this to reach the colony. So on turn 1, this fleet has to attack these cruisers. This fleet has 21 CPs to spend. And then we go up here. The first thing we do is purchase tech. If the enemy has fighters, nope. If the AP has seen enemy fighters, no, we don't have any fighters. We don't have mines. We don't have raiders. So we roll die for ship size tech. 9. So ship size, we have ship size 2, and we look here, current ship size is 2. On a 1 through 7, we would upgrade our ship size, but we rolled a 9, so we're not going to upgrade our ship size. And then if the AP has fighter tech, nope. If the AP is a raider fleet, nope. And then roll on tech purchase chart for all remaining tech CP. So this alien fleet has only 5 tech to spend, so it's not really enough to do anything with tech. So we can skip the purchase tech because they don't have any CPs to spend on tech. But they do have 21 CPs to spend on their fleet. So we need to go through this procedure. It's not a raider fleet. If the AP has fighter tech, if the AP has not seen enemy human point defense, the AP does not have fighter tech, so ignore that. So basically we're buying 1 flagship again. So we're going to buy 1 destroyer. If the AP has not seen cloak in combat greater than its scanner tech, and the flagship was not a DD, buy a DD. Well, the flagship was a DD. And then we roll a die for remaining ships. So we have 12 points left to spend. We roll a 1, and then we look for fleet composition. And here it says largest fleet. So we basically, with our last remaining 12 points, we want to buy as many ships as possible, which would be 2 scouts for 12 points. So we spend the rest of our fleet points for scouts. So we've got 3 cruisers against a destroyer and 2 scouts. Our cruisers have initiative. The destroyer actually gets a hit off. It does 1 damage, and then each of the scout ships get an attack of 3 minus defensive 1, so that would be 2 or less for each of the enemy scouts. Ooh, and they do another hit, so we lose a cruiser because we had 1 damage point. The hull size are 2, so 2 damage points would actually destroy a cruiser. So we have 2 cruisers left. So on the first hit, the destroyer is destroyed. So one of the scouts is destroyed. We hit once and that destroys their scout. So we just defeated another alien fleet. We've got 2 cruisers left. So now we actually have a wormhole between these 2 warp points. That's the first time that's ever happened to me in a game. We basically have 2 cruisers versus a destroyer and a scout. Cruisers have initiative, attack of 4, minus defensive 0. So they get 1 hit off, they destroy the destroyer, and the scout fires back. 3 attack, minus 1 defense is 2. 2 or less is a hit. Ooh, they hit for 1 point of damage on one of the cruisers. Cruiser gets 1 hit off on the scout and destroys it. We have 81 points to spend. I kind of wrestled with what to invest in this economic phase. I need to start investing in warships, but I also kind of got ambitious with my tech. So I ended up upgrading ship size, attack, and defense. So my attack and defense upgrades are maxed out at this point. Ship size is up to 5, which basically allows everything up to like battleships. So on the next turn, I really need to start building ships and maybe build some more shipyards. So we do our 5 econ rolls, and we've got a 3, 4, 4, 5, 10. That's going to take our fleet bank from 0 back up to 20. And then we've got a 10, which is going to go in defense. That would be 5 CPs, but we double it, so that's 10 plus 10 is 20. And then tech, we're still at 5. So now, like yellow's getting big. They have like a large fleet budget. They have large tech. If our fleet launch roll is successful, yellow is going to be launching something pretty massive and scary. 5. So red launches, and then on a 1 through 5, yellow launches a fleet. 10. Yellow does not launch a fleet. And so here we, let's see what our tech is only 5, so we don't even have to roll for the move upgrade. We basically just place a fleet counter on red, and we move our 20 fleet points over to here, and that's it. We go back up to the top. User discovers a space wreck, and this miner goes to collect it. Enemy fleet is going to reach these cruisers and engage in battle. There's nothing they can do with tech, but they've got 20 CPs. So we're going to build 1 flagship. So the biggest flagship we can build is a destroyer. And then we roll for the rest. We roll a 1. So we go here to fleet composition. We want largest fleet. So we're basically just going to be building scouts with the rest. They can build another battleship, because I think the rule is you can do so. You can build a bigger ship if it doesn't mean that your fleet's going to get smaller. So they can basically end up building 2 destroyers, 18, 19, 20, with 2 points left over. After the destroyers were built, we had 2 CPs left over for fleet. We carry those back over to here, and I've got 2 ships, so I get 2 rolls, 4 or less. I get 2 hits off. Both of these are destroyed. So these cruisers have kind of been just doing perimeter protection the entire game, and it's worked pretty well because the fleets over here have been pretty small. The thing about the red aliens is they've just been, the way we've been rolling, they've been firing off fleets. Like the red has fired off 4 fleets, but what that means is that they're not really building up their reserves, and they haven't really been rolling that much on tech, so they haven't really been able to upgrade and get any sort of technology advancement going. So they've just been launching lots of very, very small fleets. The yellow enemy, they have not launched a single fleet yet, but the flip side to that is they have 50 fleet points, 55 tech points. Like whenever they do launch a fleet, yellow's really going to go kinetic. But I think that's it for this entire situation. And now I think we're back down to the economic phase. So now we have 85 points to spend. A lot of our technologies are maxed out. I'm going to build 2 shipyards. because I want to be able to build 3 hulled ships here. And so with my shipyard upgrades, I would basically be able to double my capacity at these shipyards. I actually think I'm going to go ship size 6. I want some dreadnoughts. We're doing 6 econ rolls for each alien now. 65, 70. So now we have kind of a quiet turn. I think, so for turn 1, I think my miner and my cruiser are going to head down here and explore this situation. This miner is going to head here. So we combine these dreadnoughts into a group of 2. Now technically we should be keeping track of our technology. So Dreadnought 1 has an attack of 3, a defense of 3. Turn 2, this miner is going to deliver the shipwreck to the colony. So economic phase, we got a shipwreck back to colony. So now we roll for shipwreck technology table. Ship size, so we get a free upgrade to our ship size, but unfortunately our ship size is already maxed out, so we were not able to take advantage of that shipwreck. For maintenance, we have 2 dreadnoughts and 2 cruisers, so 6 maintenance for the dreadnoughts and 4 maintenance for the cruisers. So we have 10 maintenance. I'm going to buy 2 dreadnoughts for 48, 2 colony ships for 16. So I actually went with 3 minesweepers instead of 2 colonies, because I think at this point I need to really figure out my strategy for defeating the homeworlds, and I need to build them here because I don't have enough hull points left here at the homeworld. So this would be 3 hull points. There's 2 shipyards here, but we have shipyard tech ability 2, which doubles. So yeah, we're good. So now we've got dreadnoughts, we've got minesweepers, we've got some cruisers out here. So all of these are going to go to fleet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 5, 25 goes to fleet. Fleet launch, anything from a 1 to a 3 is going to... So no fleet launch for the red and no fleet launch for the yellow. Yellow poses the biggest threat right now. So if we wanted to launch an all-out assault on yellow, we could. But our cruisers are over here. We could get rid of red so we don't have to worry about it and then just focus on yellow. I think we may do that since our cruisers are already over here. Now I could have split these cruisers up and they could have like scouted more area, but I don't really care too much at this point. I'm kind of in combat mode now. Maintenance, we've got a lot of maintenance now. We've got 4 dreadnoughts times 3 is 12. We've got minesweepers, 3 minesweepers. For 3, that's 15. And then 16, 17, 18, 19. We have a maintenance of 19 now. Let's increase our minesweeper technology for 15. Let's buy 2 battleships for 40. We got 10 left. We'll carry the 10. 6 econ rolls. Fleet launch. 1 through 3 is a fleet launch. Ooh, fleet launch. Red aliens launch a fleet. Oh no. This is the moment that I've been fearing. So on this economic phase, both aliens are launching fleets and both aliens have like a significant amount in their banks. So red has a fleet size of 67 fleet points to spend. Yellow has 100 fleet points to spend. Now on a roll of 1 through 4, movement tech is upgraded. 1, it uses up all their tech. So now they have 0. And down here, if they have 25 points, which they do, 7, that takes them down to 70. And this brings them up to a move 2. If the AP has fighter tech, no, we never got fighter tech. If AP has cloak tech, no, we never got cloak tech. If AP has cloak tech, nope, So we're launching regular, both these fleets are going to be regular fleets. So we just use a fleet counter there. We use a yellow fleet counter there. And now we kind of have to decide, like, do we want to try to divide and conquer, or do we, I think we're already heading toward red, so I think we're going to stay the course and go hard on red and then come back and deal with yellow. I guess I could send my battleships out to work on the yellow fleet. They've got 3, 3, move 1. Yeah. These minesweepers are with them, and these cruisers are joining them. So now we have like a sizable fleet. According to the rules, since it would take an extra economic turn if they went around these, they actually have to like face them. Now red has 67 CPs to spend. So we go here, we can't purchase tech because even though they have a huge fleet number, they don't have any tech left. So then we go down here to purchase ships. It's not a raider fleet. No human point defense. No cloak. They never really upgraded their ship size. So the best they can do is destroyers. So their flagship is going to be a destroyer, just like usual. That's 9. And then we have to roll and see how the others are going to play out. 2. So we go to fleet composition. A 2 is largest fleet. So they're actually going to be buying as many small ships as possible. How many scouts can they buy? For 58. Scouts are 6, so I think they can buy like 9 scouts. They have a destroyer, they have 9 scouts, 2 CPs left over. So that'll go back into fleet. Ooh, so this could be kind of weird and ugly. The thing is, like, I've got an enormous amount of firepower here. I've got an attack of 6 plus 3 is 9. Minus 0. So basically a 9 or less. Destroyer is gone. And then I've got 3 more rolls for the Dreadnought. Ooh, one of these survived. And then we go on to cruisers. We have, these are old cruisers that haven't been upgraded. So they have an attack of 4. Minus 0 defense. So 2 cruisers, 4 or less. 1 hit, so we destroy that scout. I found a typo. This should be SW for Minesweeper, not MS. So that would be MS3 would be this, and their attack is maxed, their defense is maxed. All right, so they have an attack of 2 minus 0. So they roll 3, 2 or less is a hit. So they actually hit twice. So these 6 ships become 4. Yeah, all 4 of these scouts are destroyed. So I think I'm just going to use a fleet marker here and just keep my fleet over here. These battleships are going to move into a defensive position around this colony. So yellow gets to move 2 this time. So yellow's going to go 1, 2. So we have 66 points to spend. I don't really want to do technology because I'm going to have to upgrade all my ships if I do that. So at this point, I should probably just buy more ships. But basically on turn 1 of this new economic phase, my new battleships are moving out. This battleship group is pulled out of this colony. This alien fleet has entered this colony, and I'm going to have to generate a fleet for them. This alien fleet would actually avoid my fleet, and it would go this way. So on my next turn, and it can head straight to this colony or just go around them to this colony without losing a beat. So that on my next turn, I'm going to have to decide if I want to go after this fleet or go after the homeworld. And I think I'm going to go through this because Yellow Fleet has 100 CPs to devote to fleet and 90 CPs to devote to tech. So this is going to be a legitimate fleet building exercise. So the first thing we want to do is purchase tech. No enemy fighters, no enemy mines, no enemy raiders. We roll 1 die for ship size tech. We roll a 10. So we would definitely upgrade ship size. So to get to ship size 2 would cost 10 points. Ship size 2 for 10. That takes us down to 80 tech. Roll to see how we spend the remainder of the tech. We rolled a 3. So interesting. It looks like we're going to spend the remainder of the tech on defense. 20, 50, 60, 75. So defense is going to be 3. We've got 5 remaining. So we take our tech down to 5. So we're going to buy a flagship, ship size 2. So that's 9. We still have 91. And then we roll for ship composition. We roll a 3. Fleet composition 3. We're going for largest fleet again. So that's basically scouts. So how many 6-point scouts can we buy for 90? 15 scouts. Now the problem is these scouts have a pretty heavy defense. All right, so we start with the destroyer. He has an attack of 4, so 4 or less. 15 scouts, so I'm going to roll 5 dice 3 times. And they have an attack of 3, so on 3 or less, they hit the colony. 1, 2, 3 hits. So that colony is actually destroyed. And so on their next turn, they would go to this colony because it's undefended. These aliens are going to go around them to here. That Minesweeper's coming up too. And so these aliens are going to attack that colony. And these aliens are going to like go through this warp point, which I didn't even think about. But I think they should get to go through warp points. It only seems fair. Yeah, so this colony is destroyed. All right, so now we're doing something new. We're taking on the red alien's homeworld. We want to go to alien defense. When a homeworld is attacked, we're going to follow the normal fleet launch, tech, and ship buying. We actually don't have any fleet. The red alien has 30 defense points, which it can spend on mines and bases. And it won't build any fleet because it doesn't have any fleet points. So then we want to roll for defense composition. We roll a 2, so mines. All of the CP will be spent on mines. So that's going to be kind of brutal for us. Let's see how much mines. Mines cost 5. There's 30 CP, so 6 mines. Now we've got 2 minesweepers, but we have minesweeper technology of 2. Each minesweeper sweeps 2 mines before combat. It's going to sweep 4 mines, so there's 2 mines left. And then these 2 mines get to destroy 2 ships automatically. Obviously, it's going to destroy 2 of my dreadnoughts, which is painful. We've got 2 dreadnoughts, 2 cruisers, and 2 minesweepers against 1 base. So if we go back over here, all we have left is a homeworld, 2 minesweepers. This homeworld, the red's homeworld, is probably going to be destroyed before the next economic phase. Oops, I should have been using yellow. 15 scouts and 1 battleship, or 1 destroyer for the yellow right here. My fleet is going to attack the yellow fleet. Might be making some mistakes here just because there's a lot going on and I'm trying to film. But I think what I have is a destroyer and 15 scouts against 5 battleships and a minesweeper. So the battleships, the Terrans destroy the yellow aliens. All 5 battleships survive, and the minesweeper. 2 Dreadnoughts. They get 1 hit on the colony, or on the homeworld, that goes down to 15. They get 1 more hit. Colony goes down to 10. Minesweeper, 1 or less. They get 1 more hit on the homeworld, and it goes down to 5. So we lost a couple colonies. So the red alien launched a fleet, pretty much automatic fleet launch on this stage, and same with yellow. Red's going to have a 28 CP fleet. Yellow's going to have a 16. So move becomes 4, but we spent all the tech on that. And then here, tech is 30. We did not upgrade move. All right, so I built red alien's fleet. The battle was occurring at the homeworld. The fleet composition turned out to be largest fleet, which means a lot of small ships plus the flagship. So we've got 1 destroyer and 3 scouts against my 2 dreadnoughts, 2 cruisers, and 2 minesweepers. And so the dreadnoughts go first. Yeah, red fleet destroyed. We just destroyed the red alien's homeworld. This fleet can now start sweeping across the map, take out that destroyer, and meet up with this fleet. This fleet's going to move into here. The red aliens are gone. The homeworld has been destroyed. I did yellow. There was no fleet launch. We only had a fleet launch on a 1 to 3, but they're starting to build up their reserves again. Now the yellow fleet has 16 CP. We did our ship size roll. We roll for tech. It wants us to put 4 into defense. Interesting. I think defense might be maxed out. Defense is 3. Yeah, that's the max. So we got to roll again. It wants us to put it into attack. So this is going to be very helpful to the yellow aliens. They're going to spend 35 tech points on attack. So they have a destroyer and a scout going up against my fleet of 7 battleships. I almost don't even know why I should roll, but let's play it out. So that was just kind of like effortless. And I'm not even going to roll because I know that they're definitely going to destroy this destroyer on the very first round of combat. There's just no way they wouldn't. 6 battleships are going for him. These guys are moving here. These guys are joining. And these guys are moving in. Turn 2, my cruisers are fanning out. And they're checking, they're scanning. And then these will follow them in turn 3. So my 6 battleships easily destroyed that fleet. That was turn 1. It's turn 2. Turn 3, he rendezvous with this fleet. And so now we have our entire Empire fleet advancing through deep space toward the yellow alien enemy homeworld. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. So basically all 7 results here are going to go to fleet. Yellow is going to launch a fleet with 84 points. So I'm using the strategy where I'm going to take out the homeworld first because I can actually reach it on turn 3. So this fleet, this 84 point fleet, is going to definitely do some damage. I may regret that because it may reach my homeworld and destroy it. But if I didn't attack the homeworld on this turn, if I would have gone after the fleet, I would have destroyed the fleet, but then it would have launched another fleet, and I would have just been like playing catch up the whole time. I'm going after the homeworld. The homeworld doesn't really have any tech, but they have a defense of 20. So we need to roll on the defense composition, and we roll 1, so it's mines. So mines cost 5, so they can buy 4 mines, but that's not going to be a problem because we have a ton of minesweepers. Homeworld destroyed. I'm going to use a fleet marker here, and that's the end of that turn. Now on the next turn, we would basically be racing to catch up with this 84-point fleet as it careens toward our homeworld. So now the idea is that we're going to defend the homeworld with 2 dreadnoughts while our entire fleet returns. A fleet of 7 cruisers against 2 dreadnoughts and 4 shipyards. And I'm not really sure how that's going to play out, so I think we're going to have to roll this out. The dreadnoughts clearly go first. They have an attack of 6 plus 3 is 9, minus 1 plus 3 is 4, so 5. 5 or less. They get 2 hits. Bam, bam. So that 4 becomes a 3. And that's it. Game over. The dreadnoughts that I had generated at the homeworld were able to... I've got 1 dreadnought left. I was able to defeat the incoming fleet, and I still had my large fleet coming. It would have taken them 2 turns to get here, so basically the dreadnoughts just needed to hold off the fleet for 2 turns. All my shipyards were destroyed, so I wouldn't have been able to build any more ships here, but I would have been able to build ships here and deploy them. So had my dreadnoughts been defeated, it would have just been sort of a race to see if the yellow fleet could have knocked out the homeworld in 2 turns while I generate more ships and get this fleet back to the homeworld. The game went for 19 economic phases. The red aliens were wiped out on the 14th economic phase, and the yellow aliens were wiped out. Well, their homeworld was wiped out on the 18th, so they could no longer produce fleets, but their remaining fleet was knocked out on the 19th. In the first game of Alien Empire that I played, I was getting a lot of fleet launches. I mean, a lot. And so there were a lot of tiny little fleets being deployed all the time, kind of like how Red played out here. Lots of small fleets, easy to defeat, but just constantly. But in this game, Yellow didn't even launch a fleet until the 12th economic phase. So by then, it was a pretty large fleet. So I can see how this AI is designed to work, and I think for the most part it does. It does require a lot of procedural thinking. It does require going through a lot of checklists over time. I noticed that I've got a lot more of it memorized than I did during my first playthrough. So I think if you played a half a dozen games of this, I think a lot of it would be just kind of intuitive, because a lot of the rules in the checklist in the AI cheat sheet that I'm using, a lot of the rules don't apply every game. So, once you know that, like, oh yeah, no raiders, oh yeah, no cloaking, oh yeah, no minesweepers, you can kind of blaze through a lot of these rules and just get straight to the meat of like purchasing ships. And most of the time it comes down to like, oh yeah, I'm just purchasing a flagship, and then I'm either going for largest fleet or largest ships. When I was rolling for tech, I just rarely had enough tech, and I think it's because these fleets, I just wasn't rolling tech very often. So there just was never a big enough pool of tech to build up technology. It seemed like I was mostly just I was getting a lot of fleet rolls, so I was building up a lot of fleet points, but not a lot of tech points and not a lot of defense points. So it's kind of interesting. I can see how this game will play out. Very different depending on what kind of rolls your aliens get. And that's it. I hope it's helpful. There's something interesting about the way it's all crafted. So I think I just need to sit on it and kind of figure out where I land with this.